What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. It's always Falcons Nation Rise Up. It is Saturday, and I want to go ahead and give you guys the pregame show for tomorrow's game, where we will be taking on the 49ers in San Francisco. The game will kick off at 4:25 Eastern Time tomorrow, so definitely tune into the game. I'm expecting an electrifying game tomorrow, and I really think that we have a serious chance at winning this game, and I feel like it's gonna be a better game than everybody thinks that it's gonna be. But let's jump right into the video. Before I jump into the video, I do want to go ahead and wish my pops, my father, a happy birthday. Today's his 52nd birthday, so shout out to him. He's not actually an Atlanta Falcons fan. He's a Chicago Bears fan. So it is his birthday weekend. So I wanted to give him a quick shout out and tell him that I love him and appreciate him. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So let's jump right into the San Francisco 49ers, and then we're going to talk about some keys to victory. So as you know, the San Francisco 49ers head coach is Kyle Shanahan. He was our offensive coordinator from 2015 and 2016. He was with us for 2 seasons as the offensive coordinator when Dan Quinn first came in as head coach. He did help us get to the Super Bowl in 2016 as our offensive coordinator. He's very innovative when it comes to play calling, run schemes, trick plays, misdirection plays. He was big on running the football and using the play action and using similar formations to run different plays out of the same formation. As you know, his father is the 2-time Super Bowl champion, the Denver Broncos, Mike Shanahan. So Kyle Shanahan has been around football his whole life, and he's a football lifer, definitely. And I have nothing but respect for Kyle Shanahan, but I hope we really stick it to him and his team on tomorrow. Anytime we face a former coach, I definitely want to stick it to them. But Shanahan the levels is even higher than any other coach that we've ever had, being that I feel like he played a big role in us losing that Super Bowl in 2016, where we had the lead and all we had to do basically was run the clock or run the ball and milk the clock down so we could go ahead and get that victory, secure the victory against New England. We end up being ultra aggressive as he likes to be and passing the ball, and you know the end of the story. Matt Ryan basically was sacked, and New England ended up coming back and winning the game in overtime. So I really hope that the team plays with a chip on their shoulder and they come out and definitely ball. Good news is we know a lot of their plays because, of course, he was the coach here, so the defense knows a lot of the schemes he likes to run. Dan Quinn knows a lot of the schemes he likes to run. I'm sure he's not running the exact same offense. I'm sure he's added some wrinkles to his offense since he was our coach. So we definitely have to be ready for everything. The big thing about the San Francisco 49ers, they love to run the football. They do have a 3-headed monster in the backfield. Tevin Coleman, the former Atlanta Falcon. I think his name is Raheem Mostert. And then they have Matt Breida, who's also a speedy back like Tevin Coleman. He's a smaller back, but he's a speedy back. So he does a good job of rotating his running backs in and out of the game, meaning Kyle Shanahan. He does a good job of play actioning with Jimmy Garoppolo, who is the former New England Patriot backup quarterback. Now he's the starter quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. This is his second year with San Fran, so since he was traded. So he's had a pretty good season. Jimmy Garoppolo is a solid quarterback. I'm not going to put him in the upper echelon of quarterbacks until he's had more playing time under his belt, because I feel like the league needs time to catch up to him and get more tape on Jimmy Garoppolo. He hasn't actually been a starter for a full season yet. I believe this will be his first year of being a full-time starter due to him getting injured last year and being traded in the middle of the season to San Francisco. So once teams get tape on him, then I could better evaluate how good of a player he is. Right now, he's a solid quarterback. I wouldn't take anything away from him. It's just I don't want to go ahead and anoint him as one of the better quarterbacks in the league until I see more seasons and more games out of Jimmy Garoppolo. On the defense, they are very physical in the trenches, both on defense and on offense. They're a team that likes to run the ball and play good defense, a la the Seattle Seahawks. They like to run the ball a lot and play action off the run, and they like to do a lot of things of that nature, and they like to play solid defense. Now, they do have a very good defensive line. Bosa on their line, Armstead on that line. Excuse me. A ton of good players on that defensive line. Can't remember every single player on that defensive line, but I know they have some solid guys. D Ford, who's not playing in this game due to injury, that might actually help us out because they have a lot of key players that's going to be out in this game. D Ford is one of the players that's not going to play in this game. Also, on the back end, they have Richard Sherman from the Seattle Seahawks, who's like the captain of the defense. On the back end of their defense, he won't be playing with a hamstring injury, so they have a lot of guys that's going to be out in this game. Tart, who I believe is their safety, he's going to be out in this game. So they have a lot of guys that's not going to actually play in the game. The linebacker, Warner, the middle linebacker, he's very quick and rangy middle linebacker. He likes to blitz and likes to roam from sideline to sideline, making tackles. But they're very good on defense, very stout up front, and pretty good on the back end. But they're kind of inexperienced on the back end, and they kind of got exposed last week against New Orleans. They got exposed with the pass last week. It was basically a shootout last week. I believe the game was like 48-46, where the 49ers did prevail over the Saints last week. But their defense didn't look too good. Neither defenses looked good last week. Both offenses was able to matriculate the ball down the field and make plays last week. So we're going to definitely see what we can do in this game. But that's pretty much it as far as breaking down the 49ers. Let's go ahead and jump into the keys to victory for this game. Keys to victory for the Atlanta Falcons. Number one, stop the run in this game. We must be good in the trenches in this game. As I always talk about, usually the team that wins the trenches wins the game. So we definitely want to be physical. Up front, this is going to be a big game for our front. Grady Jarrett. Alan Bailey's not playing in this game. I think it's due to like a family issue. They say he didn't even travel with the team. Another player that might not play in this game, I'm trying to think. He plays on our offensive line. Sembrilo, he's not playing in this game. They said that Isaiah Oliver is another player that may not play in this game. I think he had like a shoulder injury, so they're saying he's questionable. As you know, Trufant did break his forearm, Desmond Trufant, last week, so he's out for the remainder of the season. And also, we have another player that's Calvin Ridley on the offense that's going to be out in this game. So we have some key players out, just like they have some key players out. But like I was saying before, the number one key to victory is stopping the run. Before I get too far ahead of myself, stop the run in this game. We must be physical in the trenches. Like I said, we won't have Alan Bailey in the middle, so we're really going to need Tyler Davidson to step up, Grady Jarrett, Jack Crawford. We're going to need all of those guys to step up, man. Tat McKinley and Vic Beasley. We're going to need all of those guys to step up first in stopping the run. Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell. We're going to need all of those guys to play solid in this game. Foyer, Lil Khan. We're going to need all of those guys to flow down and try to control the trenches and limit the running yards. I don't expect us to completely shut down their running game because that's not really realistic. But I do expect us, because they run the ball so much, it's going to be very hard to shut them down to nothing. But if we can limit their runs and get off the field on third downs, that's really going to help our team in this game. The second key to victory in this game, it will be getting pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's Vic Beasley. I'm really looking for a big game out of Vic Beasley, Tat McKinley. Both of them had 2 sacks last week against Carolina. I'm looking for those guys to have a big game in this game. They will be out. The 49ers do have Ben Garland, the former Atlanta Falcon, playing center, who's their backup center, because Richburg, who's the starting center, is actually out for this game and out for the season, I think. He got injured last game against the Saints, so Ben Garland had to fill in. And we all know that Ben Garland, he's a solid player, but he's not a starter. To me, he's not really starter's caliber, especially at the center position where you have to make all of the calls and the signals and stuff. So we should be able to get after them, especially Grady Jarrett. I'm looking for a big game out of the guys in the middle of the defense, especially Grady, because Grady is just a blue chipper or a blue chip player. Probably one of the best nose tackles, probably top 3 out of him, Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox and those guys, all of those guys right up there. But when you're talking about pass rushing nose tackles, I put Grady Jarrett and Aaron Donald, like those are the two best pass rushing nose tackles. So, or he's at least top 3 in the league. So whatever. But Grady Jarrett is definitely, I'm expecting a big game out of him in this game. I really expect Ben Garland to struggle blocking Grady Jarrett and Tyler Davidson and whoever lines up in front of whoever lines up in front of Ben Garland, excuse me. So we should be able to get after these guys, even in, as I was saying, and getting after the quarterback. We should be able to get after him. Adrian Claiborne, if he plays in this game, should be able to get after the quarterback. Like I said, I'm expecting a lot out of Vic Beasley and Takk McKinley. This game is a game that I expect Vic Beasley to have a big game. If he wants to get that new contract, it's time for him to ball out in this game. I did a video earlier this week talking about why we should re-sign Vic Beasley in the offseason. And I do think that Vic Beasley has talent, and he has the ability in him, the athletic ability, and he has that dog in him. He just has to bring it out in this game. So I'm looking for him to have a sack fumble in this game, or cause a turnover, and also have multiple sacks in this game and cause havoc all day. I'm also expecting the same thing for Takk McKinley. I really think that our defensive ends and our pass rush does have a chance to continue to turn a corner. In the second half of the season, we've definitely done a better job at getting after the quarterback. Early in the season, we went on like a 5 or 6 game stretch where we were on that losing streak where we had 0 sacks, which was just crazy. So I think that had more to do with play calling than it really had to do with the actual players. I really think it had to do a lot with the play calling being so vanilla, with us playing a lot of that soft zone and stuff like that, where guys were not even able to bring pressure like we should have been doing early in the season. But with that being said, let's go to our third key to victory. Third key to victory is for our Atlanta Falcons offense. Dirk Cutter, we must stay balanced in this game. I've mentioned this previously, that we don't want teams to be able to tee off on Matt Ryan and just come after Matt Ryan and don't have to worry about the running game. We definitely want their defensive line concerned about our running backs, and I want us to use all 3 of our running backs in this game. Devontae Freeman, keep him fresh. Give Brian Hill some snaps, and also give Quadra Olison, who I call the battering ram, give him some snaps, because he's a very big running back and he can bruise guys up. And I expect in the fourth quarter, if you've been running the game all game, by the time the fourth quarter comes, if you have a bigger back, they don't want to tackle that guy. Like if you have a Henry like that plays for the Titans, or if you have a bigger running back, or like a Zeke Elliott, or even the guy Connor that plays for the Steelers, if you have a back that you can hammer the ball with up the gut or even around the corners, after about 3.5 quarters, the defense usually tires out, and they're not trying to tackle somebody that's running hard like that, and especially that's compactly built the way that Quadra Olison and Brian Hill are built. They're pretty big guys. So I definitely would mix it up. I wouldn't just run Freeman. I would run all 3 of those guys, and we should take a page out of the 49ers book where they're using those 3 running backs, and we need to use the 3 running backs ourselves on our squad and give Matt Ryan, they always say the quarterback's best friend is a good running game, so we should definitely look at getting these guys involved in the game. You also can steal some possessions away from the offense, because if you remember the first time we played the Saints in New Orleans, the way we were able to beat them is we limit their possessions. We kept Drew Brees and their offense on the sideline. We kept our smallest defense off the field where they can actually rest, and so that they're not worn out by the third quarter or the fourth quarter with another team just running right at us. Because I expect the 49ers in this game to try to establish the run. That's what they do. They focus on with their team is running the ball. They're just like the Seattle Seahawks, where they're a top 5 rushing team in the NFL, and Kyle Shanahan knows that we're a smallish defense, and they're going to try to run right at the teeth for our defense. So we got to be ready in this game for that. But we must stay balanced, Dirk Cutter. Do not allow the San Francisco 49ers to tee off. Also, we must stay ahead of the chains. So when you run the football, you stay ahead of the chains. You don't fall behind, and you don't allow sacks. Because a lot of the problems that the Falcons have been having this year, and I've noticed this, is Dirk Cutter is getting pass happy. Some of the games we actually got down in the game, and it was like no choice but to pass to try to get back into the game. Like a lot of games where we were getting blown out in the first half. So I kind of understand that. But in this game, in order to keep the game close and to limit possessions, we're going to have to run the football. And then we can take our shots off of the run. We can use our play action against them, and getting those linebackers rushing up the field where it creates throwing lanes and throwing pockets behind that rush. Another thing I would do in this game, I would throw some screen passes and some swing passes to Freeman and the running backs. I also expect a big game out of Austin Hooper in this game. I really expect him to have a big game, whether we're throwing him those little screen passes, those little out passes, because Austin Hooper does a great job of catching, running after the catch. He does a good job of hurdling guys and running after the catch. He's a very solid tight end, probably a top 5 or 6 tight end in the game at this point. And Austin Hooper is definitely a baller, so we're definitely going to have to get him involved in this game, and I expect a big game out of him. Expect a big game out of Julio Jones and all of the young guys that are filling in for Calvin Ridley. Russell Gage, to me, is showing that he has solid hands, and I like that he attacks the ball at his highest point. The only thing that makes me nervous a little bit about Russell Gage is he's kind of slenderly built, so it seems like sometimes when he catches the ball and he hits the ground, he gets nicked up a lot and gets injured a lot during games. That's what I've noticed so far this season. So he definitely needs to get in the weight room, get a little bit stronger. But he's proven that he knows how to run great routes, because he did make a nice route against the Saints on Thanksgiving. I think it was on like Marshawn Lattimore, one of the better corners in the league. He did like a hesitation and then did a quick slant, and Matt Ryan definitely hit him right on the money, right between the 8 and the 3. So I definitely expect Russell Gage to be able to step up in this game and fill in for Ridley. Zaccheaus had his first touchdown last week. And Zaccheaus reminds me a lot of Taylor Gabriel, because he's a smaller receiver, but he has a lot of speed, and he can definitely get behind the defense, as he's proved last week. Because Dante Jackson of the Panthers, if you don't know, LSU is a very fast cornerback, and Zaccheaus basically had him from the play start. He had burnt him to the middle of the field with that. They were running like a zero blitz coverage, and Zaccheaus was able to do a little nice post pattern where he basically was burning Jackson. So I definitely expect us to go over the top with Zaccheaus again in this game. Maybe even throw Zaccheaus some bubble screens and let him get out in some space and see what he can do with space, like we used to use Taylor Gabriel. But I expect a big game out of all of our young guys. Even Justin Hardy, he got in the mix last week a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing Justin Hardy also get in the mix. He's one of the veteran receivers at this point on this team. And I can even see him catching a couple passes against the 49ers, because it sounds like the 49ers are really, really banged up in their secondary. And they're banged up. Their team is pretty much banged up from last week's game against the Saints. But it's no excuses for them, because no one makes excuses for us, and we're just as banged up as they are. We got so many players on IR. I don't know what it's been the last couple seasons with us and these injuries, but it seems like every single year it's a huge injury for somebody. And a couple somebodies. Like last year, we had Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal get injured. Deion Jones was injured. Grady even missed a little bit of time last year. And then now Keanu Neal's injured again for the season. And it looks like even our second string corner with Oliver, he's banged up in this game. They may not play. So the young guys are definitely going to have to step up in this game. So pretty much done with that. With number 3 key to victory. So now our 4th key to victory is protect Matt Ryan. In this game, we must protect Matt Ryan, keep him clean in the pocket. We see when Matt Ryan's upright and he has time to survey the field that he's an excellent quarterback, throwing with precision. I believe he's completing like 68% of his passes, almost 70%, which is just ridiculous. He's playing outside of his mind right now. Matt Ryan is definitely a Hall of Famer. Recently passing 50,000 passing yards last game. He did an excellent job. So Matt Ryan is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Definitely doesn't get the credit he deserves, because he's not a really flashy player, but he just plays the quarterback position the right way, throws the ball with anticipation, is excellent in stepping up in the pocket. Even now he's been running a lot this year, been running for his life, but knowing how to step up in the pocket when the rush does, the pocket does break down, and just make something out of nothing. So I do expect Matt Ryan to have a good game against the 49ers. And I'm expecting big things out of our line. You did see last week that we got Chris Lindstrom back. So now the right side of the offensive line is now solidified with the 2 first-round picks, Caleb McGarry and Chris Lindstrom. They looked good last week. I'm not too sure who will start this week at that left side. I know it'll be Matthews, and we always have Mack at the center position, but I'm not too sure who will be playing that left guard position. Maybe it'll be Wes Schweitzer or maybe even Gano. Matt Gano, he looked good last week. I like Gano a lot. I really like Gano. I think we should allow Gano to start over Wes Schweitzer. At this point, I kind of know what Wes Schweitzer is. He's just a good rotational piece. I don't consider him a quality starter. He's just good in rotation. So I may still keep, Wes Schweitzer still may get a couple snaps, but I wouldn't start him. I would actually start Gano because Gano kind of showed me some things last week, and he seems like he's a lot stronger player than Wes Schweitzer because he did a good job of opening holes in the run game. So we'll see what they do, with that. But protecting Matt Ryan is key, and I feel like protecting Matt Ryan and running the football goes hand in hand. Like I was saying earlier with the third key to victory, that we must run the football to keep Matt Ryan upright and to keep that defense honest. You don't want the team pinning their ears back, and I don't want to see a ton of 4 and 5 wideouts out there. I want to see more 3 wideouts and tight ends. I want to see more of a solid blocking scheme, because it seems like when we go 4 and 5 wide, 5 wideouts, and Matt Ryan in the backfield by himself in the shotgun position, a lot of the times it's not really successful because teams are able to just tee off on our offensive line, and our offensive line hasn't been good this season. With that being said, let's go to my fifth key to victory, and this is the last key to victory for the game. And that key to victory will be forcing turnovers. In this game, we definitely need to force some turnovers. I'm expecting another interception in this game. I'm expecting DeMonte Casey to have a pick or to force a fumble. It seems like DeMonte Casey just has a nose for the football. He's always around the football. Last week, he had 3 total turnovers, forced turnovers. He had 2 interceptions, and then he had the forced fumble on the kickoff return. So Casey is definitely one of those players that's a breakout star player on this team. And it's going to be really tough for Keanu Neal to get back on the field at that safety position, because I'm really liking the combination of Rico Allen at that strong safety position and Casey at that free safety position. I really think we found a gem, and I think we found our tandem at safety. I wouldn't be mad to have Neal back, but I really would look at making Neal maybe a linebacker, or maybe just slowly bring him back and put him on the field on certain downs. Don't play Keanu Neal every play. Maybe just use him as a rotational piece until he's completely back from his injury next year, because sometimes when you throw a player right back on the field as a full-time starter, it could really affect them. So not to get too far ahead, like I said, basically we must force turnovers in this game. Like I said, I'm looking for Casey to have a pick or a fumble. I'm also looking for Devontae. I'm looking for Deion Jones. I'm looking for Debo to have a pick in this game, because Debo has had a very quiet season. No picks this season. And I really believe part of the problem is nobody really tests Debo a lot when he's in coverage. They rarely throw the balls to the running backs like when Debo is guarding them. They're very careful about throwing the ball around Debo, and I think they know that Debo runs like a 4.4. As a linebacker, he's very fast and very good in coverage. So most of the time, they just pick on Devondre Campbell the whole game. And in this game, Devondre Campbell will have his hands full because he will be going up against George Kittle if they decide to play him on George Kittle. Usually, they play Devondre Campbell on the tight end. So I hope that Devondre Campbell is ready and been studying his playbook, because this is going to be a huge game for him and his contract aspirations, because he will be a free agent, Devondre Campbell, in the offseason. And this is his chance to prove that he deserves to still stay with the team after this season. So he's still making his pitch at staying with the team, and he's still trying to prove his worth and prove that he's an asset to this team. So he has played a lot better. He's had 2 picks in the last 4 weeks, and he also has had a couple sacks. So Devondre Campbell has had like a full 360. Early in the season, he was playing terrible. It looks like he was just confused. He didn't understand that 3-4 scheme that Dan Quinn was trying to coach the guys up. But since the defensive changes has been made with Raheem Morris And with Jeff Ulbrich, I really think that Devondre Campbell has turned a corner. He's still not that great in coverage. He's kind of been kind of terrible in coverage. A lot of the times when they have him out there, he's blitzing, on the edge. So I'm definitely looking for a big game and some turnovers by the defense. And I really believe that interceptions and fumbles and stuff like that is effort. And you definitely could strip somebody. It's all just about playing smart. So I really think that we have a huge chance of winning this game on Sunday. A lot of people don't see it, and they're thinking that we're going to get blown out. I do think it's a mismatch in the trenches, but I feel like with all of the players that the Ravens have out on their defense, they really could have a hard time of, they're going to really have a hard time of trying to beat our Atlanta Falcons. But with that being said, that's pretty much it for the video. Those are the keys to victory. 1, stop the run. 2, pressure the quarterback. 3, run the ball and stay balanced with the running pass with the Dirk Cutter. 4, protect Matt Ryan at all costs in this game. And 5, force turnovers, whether that's on special teams, whether that's on the defensive side of the ball. We must be ready to do our thing. And this is not really a key to victory, but I'll go ahead and mention it. You could put an asterisk on this one. This could be like number 6 or an honorary mention. Honorary mention to our special teams. They played great this season. Surprisingly, Kenjon Barner has been great. He might end up getting another contract in this offseason. And shout out to Younghoe Koo. I told you guys that said that Dan Quinn made the wrong decision to get rid of Matt Bryant, that at the time he did it, it was the right thing to do. And now it's been proven right because Younghoe Koo has had some great games. He's been the player of the week, special teams player of the week 2 times since he's been in here. And he only been with the team and played about 4 games. I think he's only been here for 3 or 4 games. So Younghoe Koo has did a great job of making kicks. Last week he had a fumble recovery on that kickoff return where KZ put his helmet on the football. And guess who was Johnny on the spot? Younghoe Koo. So Younghoe Koo's done a great job. I'm definitely a fan of Younghoe Koo, and usually a big fan of foreign players that get their opportunity and step up. So shout out to Younghoe Koo, man. He's definitely done an excellent job since he's come on to the team. I definitely think that we will consider re-signing him as well at the end of the season, just bringing him back because he's definitely a solid player. But with that being said, man, this has been your boy Jew. Please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel. The goal is to get us to 1,000 subscribers so we can start going live. And my goal also is to make this one of the best and biggest Atlanta Falcons channel. We don't get a lot of pub in the media. We don't get a lot of credit. They rarely talk about the Atlanta Falcons unless we're playing in like the biggest game, which was like the Super Bowl. Other than that, they don't mention us in the media when it comes to like ESPN, unless you live in Georgia. That's probably the only shine they get like on the news and stuff there. But in the ESPN and then all of the bigger corporations when it comes to sports, they really don't pay the Atlanta Falcons any mind. So that's why I made this channel for all of the diehard, Atlanta Falcons fans. I'm definitely a diehard fan. But like I said, this has been your boy Jew. If you like this video, please like. If you're not a member here or you're not a subscriber, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I'm doing a live video or doing a video. I posted a video. And also, if you would like to donate to the channel, Cash App, it'll be at or the $, and then there'll be Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to make a donation, $, Jew Talk Sports. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. I love to chat football with you guys, and definitely leave a comment below, man. If you would like me to comment, if you have a question that you just want to ask about the Atlanta Falcons, I'll be happy to answer any question you may have, or maybe it's just a general football question about your team. I definitely, if I know it, if I know a lot about your team, which I know a lot about a lot of different teams in the league, I'll answer those questions too. So y'all definitely like the video. Definitely continue to share this to all of your Falcons fan groups, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, wherever you guys are at, man. Definitely share my videos. But I appreciate you guys. This been your boy Juice signing off, man. Y'all enjoy the game tomorrow. Y'all have a great weekend and happy holidays. All right, man. Love y'all. Peace.